What is all silver teacups is? What is sine 320 is? Why sine is negative in the fourth quadrant? Or what are the complementary changes? What are the reciprocal changes? How to find out the value of cosecant 40 degree? Or how to relate tan and cot, and especially what is cot? You'll be getting answer for all these questions in this video. Great dear learners, in this video you are going to learn trigonometry in detail. This video will give you enough information to score better in paper 2. This video doesn't have information about the Pythagoras theorem, sine, cosine rules and an area of triangle. So mostly if you want to improve your scores in the paper 4, you just go to that another videos of sine rule, cosine rule, area of triangle and Pythagoras theorem and score better. If you want to score better in paper 2, then this video will help you, and also it will give a lots of information about trigonometry so you can understand trigonometry in deeper. Subscribe my channel and then support me in future. Let's get into the video. In this part we are going to see the trigonometric ratios sine, cos and tan. How are they going to give the values for the different angles? We know that angles are in between 0 to 360. If it is even more beyond 360, then we can convert them into again 0 to 360. For example, if you are having an angle 480, that 480 can be subtracted by 360 so that the remaining angle 120 will come. So you'll be going full round, then again you will go with the remaining angles, then where it stops, that's the actually angle value. So 480 degree is nothing but 120 degree. And even if you have any other angles in this method, you can find it easily. For example, if you are having 740 degree, multiples of 360 should be subtracted. Maybe first time you can subtract one 360 so that you will be getting 380. Then again subtract 360 from the resulted value. So if you subtract 360 again, then you will be getting 20 degree. So 740 degree is nothing but 20 degree. So this is how we will be converting all the angles, any angle values we can convert them to angles of 0 to 360. We know that first quadrant value will be taking acute angles, that will be denoting it as theta. So all acute angles will be denoted as theta. Then any angles beyond that, so here the second quadrant angles can be written as 90 plus theta or else 180 minus theta. So all the values of theta will be giving that 90 plus theta and 180 minus theta will fall in the second quadrant. In the third quadrant, values can be 180 plus theta and 270 minus theta. And in the third quadrant, the values are going to be 270 plus theta and 360 minus theta. So in order, maybe here you can write this as 360 plus theta as well as 90 minus theta. Let's see how the trigonometric ratios are giving the values in these four different quadrants. And in the first quadrant, if you take, all the ratios are giving positive values, and in the second one only sine is giving the positive, and in the third quadrant only the tan is giving the positive, and in the fourth quadrant cos is giving the positive. And how it works we will see in detail. To keep this in your mind, you can just skip a sentence that all silver tea cups. All refers that all the ratios of trigonometry are positive in the first quadrant. Sine is alone positive, which says that cos and tan are negative in the second quadrant. Similarly, tan is positive in the third and cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. Let's see how it is affecting the values. Now we are going to see how complementary angles works. We know complementary angles are the two angles which add up to 90 degree. Suppose if I'm taking 30 degree and 60 degree is its complement. So we will see that how what is that sine 30-degree values? Everyone knows that it is 1 by 2. And what is the complementary value of 30? It is 60. We will check what is cos 60 is. So cos 60 also giving the same value, that is 1 by 2. So here we are bringing some information. We are deriving some information, that is sine 90 minus theta is cos theta. So if any values, if I'm taking that sine 9, this 30 can be written as 90 minus 60. So that is giving 1 by 2 in the sense cos without that 90, that cos 60 is also giving the same answer. So that I'm coming to the conclusion sine 90 minus theta is cos theta. Then we will see that further values too. What are they? Cos 90 minus theta will be same as sine theta. Tan 90 minus, because we have to see for tan 90 minus also, that is going to be cot theta. Now you will be having questions. What is cos theta? Cot theta is, you will see in the next part. Now you know that yes, cot 90 minus theta is going to be the tan theta. Then cosecant 90 minus theta is going to be secant theta. Secant 90 minus theta is going to be cosecant theta. Now actually I made a mistake here, the theta will not come. Now you'll be having some questions that what is this cot theta or cosecant theta or secant theta. So we will be seeing that, what are they in the next part. Before that, you just keep these things in your mind. So complementary angles uh, are exchanging the ratios, like sine 90 minus theta is the same as cos theta, and cos 90 minus theta is sine theta. So this is one small example we have, and if you want further, you can check for all the values of theta. This rules will get satisfied. And tan and cot are complement to each other, then cosecant and secant are complement to each other. So maybe we can write as box, these two are the pair, these two are the pair, and sine and cos are the pair. To this IGCSE level, mostly you'll be using this sine and cos alone. Sometimes, rarely, you might use this tan and cot, but I can assure that mostly they won't be asking about cosecant and secant, so that you can give the importance level to these ratios. Yes, now we are going to see the reciprocal ratios. What are these reciprocal ratios? So for sine theta value will be same as 1 by cosecant theta. So this gives, what is cosecant theta is? Cosecant theta is nothing but 1 by sine theta. So the reciprocal of sine is cosecant and reciprocal of cosecant is sine. Now similarly we can say that what is cos theta is, or the reciprocal of cos theta is secant theta, and then reciprocal of tan theta is cot theta. So these are the three new things you have seen in the previous part, and now you can realize it. What are the cosecant, secant, and cot are? Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, secant is the reciprocal of cos, and cot is the reciprocal of tan. But in terms of complementary angles, sine and cos are pairing each other, and cosecant and secant are pairing each other, but only tan and cot are pairing in the reciprocal way as well as the complementary way. So before seeing the reciprocal parts, we have seen that sine theta is nothing but cos 90 minus theta, and also cos theta is sine 90 minus theta, which means if any angle I have, that I can write in the reciprocal formats, or sine is getting changed into cos, cos can be changed into sine. The same way tan to cot, cot to tan, cosecant to secant, and secant to cot. We will concentrate more on sine and cos. So sine and cos are changing for the 90 minus. So why this 90 minus alone, is it applicable only for the 90 minus or any other quadrants too? Because you know that the quadrants value we have written in different forms, like 90 minus, 90 plus, 180 minus, 180 plus, like that we have written that four quadrants values in the different way. Let's see in this part how or for what values these ratios are getting changed. So you can see it. I have written that one side for what values it is getting changed and for what values it is not changing. We will for 90 plus or minus theta comes, then sine will change into cos will change into sine, and all other ratios will follow the same. Then also for 270 plus or minus, it will be changing. And for what are the values it will not change? For 180 plus or minus and 360 plus or minus, it will change. Don't confuse that what is plus or minus. Instead of writing 180 plus theta and 180 minus theta, I have written, I have combined and written that as 180 plus or minus theta. So in both the cases, these two will not get changed. Now you will be having a question. I can write the second quadrant as 180 minus theta as well as 90 plus theta, but in one of the case I'm saying here this will not change, but here it will change. So which one you have to take it? So it's up to you in your hand. Either you can write the second quadrant value as 90 plus or else 180 minus. If you write it as 90 plus, sine will change into cos, but if you write 180 minus, it won't change. For example, if you have to refer 120 degree, this 120 can be written as 180 minus 60 or 90 plus 30. If you are applying any ratio like sine 180 minus 60 or sine 90 plus 30, so as I said before, for sine 180 minus, the ratio will not change, so it is going to remain as sine 60 itself. And sine 90 plus 30, since I said that for 90 plus it will change, so sine will change into cos. That's what we have seen. Cos, what value I have to write, either it is 120 or something, I have to write what is the value is here. It is going to be cos 30. Then you might think that, okay, so will we get any different answers? No, because we already know that sine 60 and cos 30 will give the same answer. So here you have to concentrate more on one other thing. We will see it now. So if I'm consolidating all the previous informations, so the trigonometric ratios are positive in the first quadrant, and sine is positive in the second, only sine is positive in the second, tan is positive in the third, and cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. Sine is getting changed into cos for the values of 90 plus or minus or else 270 plus or minus. This covers all the four quadrants, and in the rest of the quadrants, I mean the rest of the forms, it's not getting changed. We will see some examples and you'll be more clear on this. And now we will be seeing that what is sine 30 degree is. We know that it is going to be 1 by 2. And what is cos 30 degree? Cos 30 degree is root 3 divided by 2, and tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Now, why I'm not mentioning about the tan changes or cosecant secant changes, because sine and cos are going to be the more important, and the rest of the things you can understand from these itself. Suppose if I'm taking a value in the second quadrant, if it is sine 120, so sine 120 is the thing that I have to find it, then how I have to write the value? I can write in the two formats, that is sine 90 plus, it is going to be 90 plus theta, or else it is going to be sine 180 minus 60. So if I write sine 90 plus 30, it is going to be cos 30 degree, and sine 180 minus 60 will remain as sine, but angle value is 60. So cos 30, it is nothing but root 3 divided by 2, and sine 60 before I did not give, but we know that it is also root 3 divided by 2. So you have got some clear information that sine 120 can be written in the two formats, sine 90 plus 30 or 180 minus 60. So that sine 90 it changes, so that sine 30, sine 180 it is not changing, so sine 60 itself we are getting. Cos 30 value and sine 60 values are going to be the same. Maybe you no need to worry about the values. In all the cases, these final numerical values are going to be the same value in two different cases. Now, let's see what cos 120 is. Cos 120 can be written in the form of cos 90 plus 30, and or else I can write this as cos 180 minus 60. Sorry, it is 90 plus 30. You may raise a question that we understood sine in one sine 120 itself, but why are you writing cos 120 again? Yes, you will be understanding the secret. So cos 90 plus 30 will give the value of what? It is sine 30. Why sine 30? Because cos 90, which means 90 says that we have to change the value. Cos will change into sine, and the theta value is sine 30. And cos 180, so we don't need to change, we can write this as cos itself, and it's going to be 60. You might feel that yes, it is same, so what's new in this? Actually they both are going to be then negative values. Why it is negative? Because 120 degree is the second quadrant value. In this only sine is positive but not cos. If any cos comes or even if tan comes, that is going to give the negative value. It is not going to give the positive. So only sine is positive. So where you have to give the positive answer, where you have to give the negative answer, that you have to keep it in your mind. After seeing that angle, either it is in the second quadrant or third quadrant or fourth quadrant, then you can judge that okay, only sine is going to be the positive and cos and tan are going to be the negative in the second quadrant. Okay, so now one important thing is sine 120 I'm writing in the form of 90 plus as well as 180 minus. So you might have questions, suppose if I write in any one of this format, will it affect the negative or positive? No. If the angle is in the second quadrant, then that will give the negative for cos and tan invariant of formats. It can be 90 plus or else 180 minus. In both the cases, it will give the negative answer. And don't take these values because cos 30 or sine. If it's sine and since it is 120 degree, it is sine. So this will be positive sine 120, but we are writing in the form of cos, so that this is going to be negative. Don't judge like that. It is for the main angle, not for the changed value, because in all the cases after changing it we will be getting an acute value, not second quadrant, third quadrant or fourth quadrant values. After changing it like 90 plus or 180 minus, the angle value will get changed into an acute angle. It's going to be between the 0 to 90 and not another format. So that don't think that if it is 120 then sine is positive, so this is going to be positive. Not actually, it is negative, because cos, the main thing only you have to see for positive or negative. If the angle is 120 and if it is sine, both the formats are going to be positive, and 120 is the value and the ratio is cos, then whatever the format you write, that is going to be negative. And that it applies for tan also. And why I'm having the 90 plus and 180 minus, that is for changing it into sine or is keeping the same ratio. And why it is important, I can keep any one thing in my mind without changing it. Always I can write the second quadrant value as 180 minus, so that I don't want to worry about the changing values. Might be your question, but in some of the questions you will not have options to write in the form of 30. For example, if they give sine 30 is the value, it is something alpha, then they are asking what is cos 120 is, then you know that cos 120 can be written as cos 90 plus. Okay, so you can come here cos 120 cos 90 plus, and that is going to be negative sine 30 equals negative alpha, because sine theta can be written as alpha. They gave the replacement. So if you want to write in terms of alpha, so that you need to know that this 90 plus as well as 180 minus, it depends, so that you have to know both the things. Similarly, we will see for the other angles too. I mean other quadrant values too. We can take sine 210. Sine 210. So simply we can write sine 210 as sine 180 plus 30. So you might think that why always 30 is coming. Just for easy understanding, I have taken it can be any angle, or else the second format what I can take is it is sine 270 minus 60. So now, yes, we learned already sine 180 will not change the ratio, it's going to remain as sine. And what is the ratio, existing ratio? Theta is, that is 30, and here it is 270, so sine must change into cos, and it's going to be 60. Then now you might have a question, either it's going to be negative or positive. What do you have to see here, sine or cos, or here? Yes, always here. It's 210. 210 says that it's a third quadrant value. It's one third quadrant value, in the sense sine is negative here, so this is going to be negative, and this is also going to be negative. So hereafter, maybe the positive negative we can write first like this. Suppose if you have cos 210, then you can write this as cos 180 plus 30, or else cos 270 minus 60. Then it is a third quadrant value. In third quadrant, cos is negative, so initially you can put negative. Now you can check it's 180, so that cos will not change into sine, so cos 30 will remain here. Cos 270 says that we have to change, cos will change into sine, and 60 is going to be the angle. Then for tan 210, yes, we know that it can change into cot or tan, but it is going to be positive because it's third quadrant. In third quadrant, tan is positive. So we will see the values for fourth quadrant also. So we can take it as sine 300. So sine 300 can be written as sine 270 plus 30, or else this can be written as sine 360 minus 60. So either positive or negative, it's fourth quadrant value, so sine is negative, so in both the cases I will be getting negative. And 270 I should change sine to cos, it's going to be 30. Sine 360 I don't want to change, it is sine 60. And cos 300 can be written as cos 270 plus 30, or else cos 360 minus 60. Whether I have to write positive or negative, it is going to be positive, because in the fourth quadrant cos is positive, and just I have to concentrate on the values because both are positive, and I don't need to mention, and even if you want to, you can. Then cos 270 will change into sine 30, then cos 360, so it will remain as cos, and angle is going to be 60. Then what will be for tan 300? Yes, it is going to be negative value, because only cos is positive. Suppose if I have any values, like you might have a question, I have sine 30 degree. If I want to write it as changed value like 90 minus, because there is no need for changing that sine 30 into some other value. Suppose if I'm changing, what will happen? So sine 30 can be written as sine 90 minus 60. So sine 90, which means I have to change the value of cos, and it's going to be cos 60. Cos 60 value, we know that what is the numerical value, or we can get it from the calculator. So here either positive or negative. Since this value is positive for all the values, for all the trigonometric ratios, it is going to be positive. Even for cos 60 we'll be getting sine 30, so that is positive, or tan 60 will be cot. Keep it in your mind, it is cot 30, that is also positive. Why? Because it's first quadrant values. In first quadrant all the ratios are positive. So the conclusion is simple here. Any quadrant values, any trigonometric ratios, how you are writing in the format, if you are writing 270 plus or 270 minus, in the same way 90 plus or 90 minus, then sine will change into cos, tan will change into cot, then changes will happen. Then either you have to put positive or negative, that is, this information will give you all silver teacups, all the ratios are positive in the first quadrant, and only sine is positive in the second, only tan is positive in the third, and cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. So maybe if I'm writing tan 340, then since it is 340, I can say that it is going to be a negative value, since cos only positive in the fourth quadrant. In the same way, they can ask maybe sine 480 is what. So don't confuse. Sine 480, as I said in the beginning, 480 you have to write as 0 to 360. That is, subtract 360's multiples. So sine 480 will be sine 120. Either it is positive or negative. It is a second quadrant value, so it's going to remain as positive. And sine 120 value, what is that? You can maybe write this as sine 90 plus 30. Sine is positive and it is going to be cos 30 because 90, so cos 30 is the answer. Cos 30 is nothing but root 3 divided by 2. So this is how we have to find the values even beyond the 360 degrees. And there also you have to ensure that that angle is falling under which quadrant to decide either it is a positive or negative. And after that, either you are writing in the form of 90 plus or 180 minus. Then after that you will be writing the ratios value, then write the numerical. One more important thing you have to note down. In some of the cases, they will be giving tan x equals to, you'll be getting some 0.087, so any number it can be. Then what are the two values of x? So you'll be having one dash, and also you'll be having another dash. If you put in your calculator, for example, you don't mind it, simply we can take we are getting some 30 degree or 35 degree. If you are getting x equals 35 degree, so even you are trying second time tan inverse of, so for example you'll be trying like x equals to tan will go that side, it is going to be tan inverse of 0.087 if you apply it. So simply I'm just writing that answer as 35. Actually it is not the same, but still I'm writing it simply for understanding. And what is the another value? How to fill it? We don't have any informations. Don't panic. So what your calculator gives is the first quadrant value. Then what is the next one is? So the next one, you just have to think this four quadrants value again. Just think where the tan is going to be positive other than the first quadrant. Yes, we know it. It is third quadrant. If it is going to be third quadrant, then how you have to write it? Uh, how the third quadrant angles can be mentioned? It can be mentioned as 180 plus, or else it can be mentioned as 270 minus. We know that in 270 minus, actually ratios will get changed, tan will change into cot, so that don't go for it. So this is what our answer is. What is the answer you have got in the calculator? Along with it, you just add 180 with it, so another answer will be 215. Even if they ask any other values, again you can go for one more round and you can write that answer also. That is going to be like along with the 35, again the first quadrant. What is the first quadrant is? It can be represented as 360 plus, so 360 plus 35, it is going to be 395. Then after getting this, Again, you can add one more 180 with this answer, then you can get multiple answers. So to make it simple, uh, in the calculator, values are giving some answers how to write that another angle value. Previously we know that if angle is given, what will be the numerical value, how we have to change that, all we have seen before. Either it is 270 plus or 180 minus or 90 plus 180 plus. So all these things we know that, we know whether we have to change positive or negative, everything we know that. And in the reverse way, in the algebraic way, if they give the answer and they're asking what can be its input, like sine, um, sine x is equals, we can take it as going to be 0.5, and in the question they will be giving two dash x equals, here one answer and another one dash also will be giving. Mostly, uh, you know that it is sine x equal to 0.5, so that you will be solving this. X equal to sine will go that side, it is going to be sine inverse of 0.5. And for what value of sine, we are getting 0.5 as answer, it is 30 degree, so you'll be writing that answer as 30 degree. So what is another one? You might think in the table values, or even you're using calculator. Why am I saying table and calculator? Because 0607 IM students will not be using calculator for their paper 2, and 0580 extended students will be using their calculators. So you can use, or you may not use it. It's not a problem. But you will be getting only one answer. For the second answer, what you have to do? For the second answer, it is simple. Just check what ratio it is and where it is positive. It is sine, it is positive in the first and second quadrant. We got the first quadrant value, that is 30 degree, then another value is in the second quadrant. So second quadrant, how we have to write it? Don't go for the changing values, either go for 180 minus or else 180 plus, and here it is 360 minus. Only these things you have to go. So if it is sine, then you'll be writing 180 minus what answer you have got, 180 will be subtracted with this. So that sine 180 minus 30 is going to be sine 150. So x value will be 150. In the same way, for example, if you are taking cos x equals 0.5, you are having it, and what are the two values x equals? So how we have to solve it? It is simple. Cos x equal to 0.5. So cos inverse of 0.5 will give us 60 degree. If it is 60, what is the other value? Are we going to write it as 180 minus or 180 plus? No. We have one strong thing in our hand. What is that? All silver teacups. So we are talking about the ratio cos, trigonometric ratio cos, cosine. So that where it is positive in the first quadrant. Yes, we got the answer, and it is positive again in the fourth quadrant. So fourth quadrant, how are we going to represent it? It is 360 minus. So what answer you have got here? So 360 minus that value, so it is going to be 300. So this is the answer. And the same thing can be done for tan. So if it is tan x equals, suppose we are getting 1 as answer, then what are the two possibilities? That is, one answer in the calculator we are getting 45, then another one. What is another one for tan? It is third quadrant. Third quadrant can be represented as 180 plus. So 180 plus 45, it is 225. And only will they ask two spaces or more than two. In the question itself, they will be mentioning the ratio is 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 360. In these cases, you will be writing only two gaps. Suppose if it is going beyond the three gaps also, you can answer. Don't panic, because uh, you can write so many answers to get the 0.5. So what is that? We will be seeing for only sine. We can consider this scenario. Suppose if they have given three dashes, then how we have to answer, or four gaps are given, then how we have to answer. So first one I said already, it is nothing but 30° is the calculated value we got, or from the table we got it. The second one is, since it is sine and it is positive in the second quadrant, so it is answer is 180 minus. So 180 minus 30 is 150. That is the second answer. So what will be the third answer? So sine is positive again and again, these values either in the first quadrant or else in the second quadrant. As I said before, that any angles 10,000° also can be written in the form of 360. So once you have finished the first circle 360, you go to the next circle. So 360 plus, so what is the answer you got? Again, to represent the first quadrant, so 30, 150, then again you are completing one full round 360°, then again you are coming back. What answer will give 0.5? As yes, it's 30. So 30 na, already it is 360, one full round is over. So 360 plus 90, so even in 390 it will be the same. And once you got this, then again it is going to be 180 minus of this, or you are going to add 180° or 90° with this. So 390, and don't subtract this value with 180 so that you won't be getting that exactly same. So one round is fully over, then the value which is here, how will you be writing? You can add 150 with it. So 360 plus 150, that is going to be 360, 460, 510. Or you can add 180 with it, so or 120 with it, so that you will be getting 510 as answer. Suppose you may ask again, if they are giving one more space, then how I have to answer? Don't worry, again in the second round it is going to be 720, 720, and for the first quadrant value it is 30, so 750 is the answer. So you can fill so many gaps like this by continuing them, and you, it is very simple actually, but previously you have felt it difficult. The last part, reciprocals, we will see it now. Previously we have seen that what are the reciprocal ratios are. For sines, reciprocal is cosine, secants, reciprocal is cos, cots, reciprocal is tan. So we have seen everything, but how are we going to utilize it for the problem? Suppose in a question, if they are asking what is cosecant 40°, so you will not have the button cosecant, and even IM students, you will not have, you haven't studied that what is cosecant 40 is. Don't panic, you just think what is cosecant is. Cosecant is a reciprocal of sine, that is 1 by sine theta, and the value is sine 40. So find the sine 40 value in your calculator and take reciprocal it. So that is what answer, or you can give a simple input, that is 1 by sine 40. Whatever the answer you are getting here, that is the exact answer. In the same way you can find for secant 70 or else cot 80. So what you have to do is you have to find 1 by cos 70 and here 1 by tan 80. It is so simple. And one other important thing that what I have to say is reciprocals are different from the inverses. For example, if you are having sine theta equals 0.5, when you have to find out theta, sine will go that side, it will become sine inverse of 0.5. So don't think that sine will go that side, it will become its reciprocal, so that will become cosecant. It's absolutely wrong. But in certain cases, you are just transferring some of the values, like sine 45, x into sine 45 equals some alpha. So what is x? And write in the, I mean write not in the fraction form. Then what you have to do, sine, if you move that side, you know that multiplication will go that side, it will become alpha divided by sine 45. Since they are asking us not to write in the fractional format, so what to do, sine 45, if you are bringing to the numerator, it is going to be alpha cosecant 45, because along with the angle you are moving, so along with the angle when you are moving it, then sine, if it's go to the numerator, it will become cosecant, because sine and cosecant are reciprocal to each other. So only in these cases you can uh, change it to the reciprocals, or else if they are asking cosecant 45, secant 75, cot 95, then there you can use it. And other than that, it has no other works. And don't confuse inverse and then reciprocal, because if you are just moving only sine, that operation sine alone going that side, it will become sine inverse. Then sine 45 is going that side, it will become cosecant 45. So either you are moving the whole value or else only the operation, it depends. Then one other important thing, or in one of the paper we have got a question. As I said before, you no need to worry about cosecant secant changes in the complementary or tan cot, but in one of the rare case they have asked it, because I said one special case for tan and cot is tan and cot are reciprocals to each other as well as complement to each other. Tan 90 minus is cot, 1 by tan is cot. In both the cases, these two are related. So I can tell you that in one of the question they gave write tan theta as x. So wherever you are getting the value tan theta, you just write it as x. Then the simple thing is next they have asked what is tan 90 plus theta. So tan 90 plus, we know that tan 90 is nothing but cot, because tan 90 to change into cot theta. So positive negative, yes, we should see it, since it is the second quadrant, 90 plus the second quadrant, it is going to be negative. Minus cot theta, but we have only replacement for tan theta, it can be written as x. So you should not leave it as minus cot theta itself. What you have to do, you have to try to change cot to tan. So in what way you can write cot can be written as 1 by tan. So 1 by tan theta, and yes, now we got the replacement, minus 1 divided by tan theta is x. So it will be minus 1 by x. So this is how they are relating, because tan 90 plus complementary changes is also cot and reciprocal is also tan, so that we will be able to solve it. But for other ratios it is not possible, because if I'm changing sine something, if I'm changing sine 90 minus or 90 plus, I'm changing, I will be getting cos here. After getting cos, I can't write this cos as uh, I mean, this is not a reciprocal one, so I don't have issue. And cos can't be written as 1 by secant, so sine to secant, it is nowhere related. So we don't have issue for the other two, but we have issue for tan and cot, since they have they are reciprocally and complementarily related to each other. Suppose if they are asking what is tan 180 minus theta is, or tan 180 plus theta is, it's so simple, because tan 280 minus 180 minus, it is going to remain as tan theta, and we can write this as x. Suppose if you are writing this as tan uh, 270 minus theta, how will you be writing? Tan 270 minus theta. So tan should be changed into cot. It is going to be theta, positive or negative. 270 minus is third quadrant. So tan is positive, cot theta is positive here. And cot theta can be written as 1 by tan theta, and 1 by tan theta can be written as x. So this is how the reciprocals are related to each other. So what I'm concluding it here is, in this video, you have learned how the complementary changes are happening, how one or what ratios are getting changed, and what are the ratios are related in terms of complementary, and what is the value of our trigonometric ratios for the different quadrants. If it is first quadrant, either it is positive or negative, or how can we rate it, either it is 270 plus or 360 minus. So in one of the case it will change, and I mean just I'm relating complementary and different quadrants. Then after that I'm relating that reciprocal to how to write cosecant as, how to write secant as, how to write cot as. I mean sine can be written in the form of cosecant, so that are the things we are seeing it. And also we have seen the special relationship between tan and cot, that both complementarily and reciprocally related. So that's it. This is what the basic thing, and that minor things, minor questions can be asked in the papers of IGCSE. This video will help you, I guess. Thank you.